Good morning. My name is John Gilmore, and I am the Executive Director of the Autism Action Network. We are a national advocacy organization working on autism issues. And we're here today in front of the New York State Governor's office in Manhattan. And we're here to ask the governor to veto Senate Bill 7000B. This is an autism reform bill that we call the worse than nothing autism legislation. I have here with me a group of parents and grandparents of children and adults with autism, and we're going to be explaining why we think the governor should be vetoing this bill. Our next speaker is Mr. Michael Smith. He is the chairman of the Foundation for Autism Information and Research. He is also the father of a child with autism diagnosis. Mike?
Thanks, John, and thanks to everybody for coming out here today and realizing the crisis that our country faces from the epidemic of autism. I also serve on the Albany chapter of the Autism Society. Most importantly, I'm the father of Alexander, a 9-year-old boy who suffers from autism, who has been denied coverage for mainstream medical care that would be covered if it were not for the diagnosis of an autism spectrum disorder. What does autism cost? A detailed study completed down the road here by LifeSpire in New York City concluded that the lifetime cost of care for an adult with autism from 21 to 66 years of age is $18 million over his lifetime. Approximately 85% of those with autism are under 21 years of age. What is 18 million times 40,000 plus New Yorkers with autism? This is going to cost us into the trillions of dollars. However, the Autism Society of America has determined that with proper medical care and supports that these costs can be reduced by 2/3. Families pay their insurance premiums but are denied coverage, in many cases so their children can have a pain-free life for things such as physical therapy, which would not be covered under the Breslin-Morelli bill. Autism is a complex medical condition and no two children are the same. Mainstream medical professionals prescribe physical therapy to a child with bad feet, occupational therapy so a child can hold a spoon, and speech therapy to a child who cannot speak. These medically necessary therapies, already regulated by New York State, are denied and will continue to be denied if S7000B is signed into law. Medicaid sometimes covers some of these services at great expense to counties and all taxpayers. 7000B will simply shift costs from private insurance onto the backs of all taxpayers in order to subsidize the insurance industry. It will not provide coverage that the autism medical community and scientific community supports. It is no surprise this bill was written by major insurance industry lobbyists and sponsored by the insurance chairman in both houses who take hundreds of thousands of dollars from the insurance industry. Why are we legislating by disease? The New York State Association of Counties wrote an opposition letter, as Tom Abenanti just mentioned. In a letter, their headline was, in their opposition letter, "Fast Track Bill to Pass Buck to Taxpayers, Shields Health Insurers from Paying for Autistic Children." Many families have both private insurance and Medicaid. Most of the expenses are paid out of pocket by the families and Medicaid, with private insurance paying approximately only 10%. This is not fiscally sound or sustainable, and S7000B would ensure this continues through discriminatory language in the bill that would create impossible hurdles to obtaining coverage. The economic devastation from the autism epidemic is going to cripple New York's economy on a scale we should all be terrified of. The ripple effect of legislating autism insurance discrimination, handcuffing doctors, and increasing state spending to subsidize the insurance industry will cripple New York's economy for decades to come. Governor Paterson, the sponsor of S7000B, Insurance Chairman Neil Breslin, called you an absolute failure and said you have no moral compass. We know the opposite is true and that you have led the state through a difficult couple of years. We know you understand the state's financial challenges and your fiduciary responsibility to New York State. We know you understand civil rights and how this bill discriminates against those with autism. We need meaningful legislation that is responsible to all affected groups. We're willing to try again next year. We are personally affected by this as parents of children with autism. Governor Paterson, we have an epidemic of autism. Protect our kids' futures and civil rights and veto this disgraceful bill. Thank you.